Hello, we are on lesson 8.6. Here's your objective. I will be able to write and graph inequalities. You're going to graph these on a number line. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. But we're going to get some stories, and you have to make an inequality. All right? Not an equation, but an inequality. So, remember, an inequality has a less than or a greater than sign, less than or greater than sign, or it could be less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. All right, but you're not going to see equal sign today because those would be equalities, and we're doing inequalities. So, write an inequality for each sentence. You must be over 12 years old to ride the go-karts. So you have to be greater than 12. Now, we need to use a variable for u. So why don't we use the y, okay? It doesn't have to be a y, it could be an a. Why don't we go with y? So u, and that should be a lowercase y. U must be over means bigger than. You must be greater than 12 years old to ride the go-kart. So did I do it right? All right, y is greater than 12. So if you're 13, you could ride the go-karts because 13 is greater than 12. So there is your inequality for that example. Look at number 2. You must be at least 16 years old to have a driver's license. Keyword being at least. All right, so once again, we're going to use y for u. You must be at least 16. So you have to do something with 16. Can you be less than 16 years old to have a license? No. Can you be greater than 16 to have a license? You betcha, but I'm not done. All right? Because at least 16 means you can be 16 years old. Yes, you can be 16. So y is going to be greater than or equal to 16 from this story. Because you could be 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 100, okay? But you need to be greater than or equal to because you can be 16. Y can be 16. I was 16 when I got my license. Very dangerous for most people on the road, but hey, I was able to do it. All right, a couple more stories here. To use one stamp, your letter must weigh under 3.5 ounces. Not 3.5 and under 3.5 ounces. So to use one stamp, so I'll use S as my variable. To use one stamp, you have to do something with 3 and 5/10 or 3.5. Under 3.5. So you, actually, I'm not even going to use S here because it's not the stamp that's under, it's the package, the weight. So I'm going to use W for my variable. That makes more sense to me. The weight has to be under 3.5 ounces. So if your weight is less than 3.5, you can use one stamp. Okay? So that is your inequality. Number 4, you must be 12 or younger to eat for free. Sometimes, restaurants let young kids eat for free. You must be 12 or younger. So let's go with age. My variable will be A. Your age has to be 12 or younger. So I'm going to do an A and a 12 in my inequality. All right, so A greater than 12. Nope, you can't eat for free. That doesn't make sense. You have to be younger than 12, so it's less than 12. A is less than 12. But it says 12 or younger. So your A could be equal to 12, or it could be less than. All right, this means less than or equal to. So A is less than or equal to 12. Now we have to graph some of these inequalities from these stories. So here's an inequality. This is part 2 of the lesson, basically. That was the first half, here's the second half. 2 objectives, really. N is greater than 9. Okay. So let's see. If it's greater than 9, it's not equal to 9, it's going to start at 10, and it's going to go all the way forever and ever. That's why I put an arrow at the end of my graph. I just graphed the inequality. N is greater than 9. It's not going to be equal to 9, so that's why I didn't start there. So N is greater than 9. I just graphed it. Not too hard, right? When you graph it on a number line, you just have to put your starting point and draw a line and know that it goes forever. That's why there's an arrow there. Let's see another example. N is less than or equal to 10. All right, so N can equal 10 this time. So that's where my starting point is going to be. It could equal 10, and it could be anything less than it. So N could be 10, it could be 9, it could be 8, it could be 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and I ran out of spaces, so I'm going to draw an arrow. N could be any of those numbers, all right? On your work, you might want to fill it in a little more. I don't want to waste my marker. But N could be any of those numbers, all the way to negative infinity. All right, so now it's your turn. You have 2 questions. So for those of you who like to fast forward to the end, and I hope you're not doing that still, there's 2 questions, there's 2 pages. Number 1, write an inequality for A and B. If you can't read it, it says the movie will be no more than 90 minutes in length. All right, so you might want to use L for your variable. I don't like L. I'll use A this time, just a random one. The movie will be no longer than 90 minutes in length, so you're going to have an A and a 90. What's your inequality going to be? All right. B, the mountain is at least 985 feet tall. Write inequality for that one. And the last thing you have to do a little bit of work for me and draw a number line, not too hard. Draw a number line and graph this inequality. A is less than or equal to 6. So draw that, and you should be good to go. And thank you for watching and being a loyal viewer.